Hello, the people of the internet that found my corner of that very place. This is going to be another sit down video. I got a lot of positive feedback on the last one that I did, so why not make another one? And to be very honest, I need to make a video, but I have limited time and I cannot be very loud. So I thought, let's just chill out and I'll tell you a story. And that story will be the story of how I actually started streaming. I get the question a lot and it's a little bit complicated, so I'm going to try and explain it the best I can. I did not do any preparation of this video, but here we go. Okay, so the first memory that I have of wanting to do content creation was when I was 7. That's young. I started watching YouTube around when I was 6, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm really bad with dates, but it was around when I was 6. That's about 13 to 14 years at this point. I'm 19 now. Almost turning 20 actually. Fuck, I've been in this for a while as well. And because of that, I've also been doing this for a while, a lot longer than people actually think I have been. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm realizing that I'm really old. Anyway, I was very self-aware when I was a kid, at least so I thought. So I realized that if I would make YouTube videos at the time, they would just be cringy and nobody would watch them, because who would watch a 7-year-old make YouTube videos? So I didn't. Something that I would do, that my sister actually also did, was make YouTube videos just without posting them, you know, just for fun, with the webcam of her computer, because we didn't have smartphones back then, so we couldn't use those. After a while though, when I did have my glamorous first iPhone that actually had a camera, what I used to do is make videos and post them on the WhatsApp group of my elementary school class and make YouTube-esque videos for them on there. I still have clips of these videos and I'm somewhat glad and also a little bit sad that I didn't post these, because I feel like it would make the story a lot more fun if I did end up posting them. And maybe, you know, I would have blown up because I would be in like one of the first bigger YouTubers, you know. Yeah, probably not, but you know, the thought is there. I did this for a while, even mentioning in some of the videos that I might post this on YouTube.
Ik weet niet of dit ooit op YouTube komt, maar gewoon als het ooit op YouTube komt of zo, dan is een groen duimpje altijd welkom.
Give it a like if I end up posting this in YouTube, etc, etc. These were partially in Dutch and partially in English because I was very bad at English. With these small examples said, I feel like it already shows that I was very interested in this thing called content creation, which I didn't even know was a term back then. I was just like, oh, I really enjoy watching these YouTubers, so I want to do that too. Looks fun, let's go. That's as far as my mind went. My small child brain wasn't even able to grasp yet that you could make this into a career, which I'm pretty sure that wasn't even a thing back then. So a few years went by. I never really stopped making those videos. I did stop sending them in the WhatsApp chats because I finished elementary school, so I didn't really have anyone to send it to anymore. I actually was planning on starting a YouTube channel with a friend of mine in the last year of elementary school, and we did record or attempt to record a YouTube video for that. The name of the channel would be Fail Canal, which is a mix of the word fail in English and kanaal, which is Dutch for channel. Basically, the point of the channel would be us documenting what type of fails or blunders that we had that week and even reenact the stupidity that we would experience in that week. A few years went by, YouTube started to grow significantly, and it started to be very apparent that you could earn a living wage off of that and even more. Basically, at that point, I kind of got disencouraged with doing YouTube because there were these really big YouTubers. All the YouTubers that I watched, I realized that they're already at a point that I could not even seem to reach. Ever. Like, I'm not interesting enough. People wouldn't watch me. Just doom thinking, basically. Sad about that. Even though I was too young at that point to even make YouTube videos, I am upset that I kind of let that mindset keep me from doing that for quite a while. However, this mindset did not change live streaming for me, or as I would call it then, broadcasting. At one point, I was watching Johnny Gilbert, a YouTuber that went live on Younow, a platform that you broadcast on. I didn't know it at the time, but holy fuck, there is a lot of sketchy shit going on that platform, and that was definitely not a safe environment for a 11 or 12-year-old at the time to start broadcasting. Basically, Younow was really beginner friendly because all you needed to do was click on go live, enable your camera and microphone, and then you're set. So when I was either just 12 or just still 11, I started streaming on Younow. This was the first actual content creation that I did that was actually posted publicly on the internet for anyone to see, and I'm a tiny bit worried about that. This is where the video is going to be a little bit more personal, because there is actually a bigger reason as to why I started streaming and why I got so hooked to it. For the people who recognize the name Johnny Gilbert, I think the bells already started ringing. Johnny Gilbert is a emo YouTuber, one of the biggest emo YouTubers of the time. I don't watch him anymore either because I kind of get uncomfortable watching his videos at this point. I watched him because I related to his content. I didn't really have friends, I got bullied a lot, and it was just not a good time for me mentally. Streaming on Younow kind of made me feel welcomed and accepted and recognized for the first time, really. And I started having friends on the internet, which is something that I really didn't feel like I had. I had friends, definitely, but they were not my people. I streamed on Younow for a really long time until I eventually wanted to do something more than just Younow. Also, at that point of my life, I kind of got more into gaming, so I wanted to do gaming on Younow, but sadly I couldn't figure out how to do it. Then a friend of mine actually reintroduced me into Twitch, and I realized that, hey, maybe I could do that. So when I was 12 and a half-ish, I actually tried streaming on Twitch once. I streamed Minecraft. That got cut short because the second stream that I had, or the third stream or something, a friend of mine, actually the one that I made that YouTube video with years ago, pointed out that the one viewer that was in my chat was just me having the stream chat open and I was talking to no one. That made me feel so humiliated because I thought I was talking to someone and somebody was watching me, so I was asking them questions and they were not responding. I realized that that was me. I was really used to Younow having 15 people with ease in my chat just when starting out, having 15 people average, which is a lot. Even for stream today, that's a lot of people. And I don't know how I did that. Probably because I was a child and there were a lot of pets in there, which is one of the points where it's sketchy. I scrabbled back to Younow, thinking I had learned my lesson that I should not try Twitch. But I got bored again. So years later, when I actually started playing League of Legends, I realized that League of Legends was the most streamed game on Twitch. So that was an interesting detail, and I was having a lot of fun playing League of Legends, and I wasn't really streaming on Younow anymore because I was so busy playing League of Legends that I really didn't have the time to anymore. But I did miss streaming a lot. Also, one of the big points is I got bullied at school a lot, and Younow was a platform that nobody really knew about except for the other depressed kids that wouldn't bully me because they got bullied themselves already, you know? Fuck. YouTube, on the other hand, was very well known and everybody was watching YouTube videos. Whenever somebody would start a YouTube channel, people would notice before the end of the month, which was a very terrifying thought for me. I didn't want that to ruin the fun for me. However, Twitch at the time was fairly new within the Netherlands in terms of not many people actually knew about it, especially not in my age group. After a couple of months of contemplating whether I should or shouldn't, I tried streaming League for the first time ever. I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell my family, I didn't tell anyone that I was going to start streaming League of Legends. It wasn't very far until my Discord friends realized what I was doing. And for a real long time, they were the only one. I did tell my parents rather early on because obviously they noticed that I'm talking to something and I'm pretty open to my parents about what I do on the internet. My friends at school, however, did not know for a really long time, which was about a year or so. However, I made the promise that if I hit 100 followers on Twitch, I would tell my friends and therefore the people at school that I was streaming on Twitch. After 1.5 years of streaming, I hit 100 followers. The 200 followers came rather quickly after that, if you put it in perspective, that is, because that's when people started following me just because they knew me, you know? That's a big bump that people often have that I didn't have because I solely didn't want to, because I was scared to getting bullied or judged by my friends, which is sad to be honest, to think about it, you know? Anywho, at the time I was about 13 and a half. Something a little bit more dark that was going on at the time was really bad mental health that I was going through. I had a lot of anxiety. I was in a depression. It was a terrible time for me. And honestly, I didn't really understand the point of living. The reason I'm telling you guys this, I don't really talk about it all that much on the internet because I feel like it's rather personal. I feel like it's important to like add this this because this is the main reason that I am driven to keep doing this. Because at the time, people like PewDiePie, DenTDM, Jenna Marbles actually kept me alive at the time, because that was one of the only reasons that I was living. I didn't want to die solely because I was curious to what they were going to become, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. And yes, I'm tearing up talking about it because it's really fucked up. Regardless, this kind of dragged on for a while that I was really struggling. I wasn't streaming as much anymore. I wasn't really gaming as much anymore. I was basically just laying in my bed being miserable for quite a while. It wasn't like I didn't want to get better. It was just I really didn't have the energy to do so, and I really didn't know what to do, to be honest. Weirdly enough, for some reason, I kind of started gravitating towards streaming because after a while, I started to try to get better a lot more, put a lot of effort in it. And that's where I realized how much content creators actually helped me through that time, and how even if I'm a small streamer, even if I have only 2 people watching me, I can be that person for someone, potentially. You know? And at first, that was the only reason I started streaming more again. Because if these YouTubers, musicians, and streamers could help me through that shit, I would want to help someone else. Because that was the main reason I even got into mental health that deep, was a lack of care for myself because I care too much to help others. Which sounds really good as a personality trait, but it really, really, really fucks you in the long run. But luckily, the same drive that I had to help others that were in the same spot as I was, which I didn't recognize because obviously they had it worse than me and I was insignificant to that, I decided to pick up streaming because I wanted to help others, because I was really miserable in my own life. So why not help someone else if I can't help myself? And even though it's a bit of a fucked motivation drive, it helped me a lot. Content creators helped me through a really difficult time in my life, and streaming helped me out of that really difficult time in my life. I realized that I didn't want to be miserable like that, and I realized that I should work on it and be persistent in that, which ended up having me get somewhat better. I'm not perfect still. Fucking my last sit down video was about my PTSD. Fuck yeah. Streaming gave back my purpose in life and my feeling of I should stay here because there is a reason I'm here, which is very, very heavy to say. And luckily now streaming is not my only purpose. It is one of my main purposes, I hope, because I would love to do this professionally and like keep doing this. In the end of the day, I grew up unknowingly at the time creating content, trying to figure out what my space was within content creation, and I'm still trying to figure that out. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I luckily have kind of succeeded in my original plan for it. I'm grateful to be able to help people like that. I have had people tell me that I actually did help them through really, really difficult times, and I still proceed to, and I try to be there for everyone to a certain extent. Obviously, I can't be there for everyone on a personal level, but I can strive to make their day a little bit better. That type of bullshit, because I learned the hard way. You shouldn't try to help everybody on a personal level, because that fucks you. And just the thought that there were multiple people that have come to me being like, yo, you really helped me, thank you so much, is crazy to me, and I'm really proud of that. Yeah, that's basically my origin story as to how I got to stream. A wholesome yet sad story, because, you know, at first it was more of a survival tactic. Obviously, it was not just Twitch that made me feel better. I had therapy. I started opening up to my family, to my close friends. I started recognizing my own boundaries and try to hold them up, which I kind of feel at sometimes, but you know, I'm working on it. My life has changed so much because of Twitch in a really, really positive way. Obviously, there are some negative experiences, but Twitch has been amazing to me, and I'm really excited to what else it might bring. Yeah, I want to give a special thank you for being here today because of the subject of this video. I appreciate all the support, and yeah.